I do want to talk about the tree lighting. I think it was a huge success. I'd like to thank Pacific Partnership and their future president is standing here at the door. They did an excellent job on orchestrating the tree lighting event, as well as Troop 540, the Scout Troop, and crew, as far as leading everyone in the Christmas Carol sing-along, and then as our youth and senior, as far as providing refreshments for everybody. I think it was a huge success, and I've been getting a lot of compliments. It's the best tree ever, and I even got comments that the youth center is very excited to actually have lights in the gym this year. So I think we're well lit, and it's turned out really good. Lights all around the city look good, and I appreciate also Officer Stevens was here with his police explorers also helping out that night. I think it's a really great thing to just see all the different entities in the community coming together and participating, and I do want to give a shout out for our Public Works crew and the work that they did in putting up the lights. Again, it's probably the best tree we've ever had. It's very exciting, and I just love hearing all the comments from the community. It just really builds that community spirit that I am very fond of. The second thing I want to talk about tonight is we are upon budget season. We'll have our second reading tonight and possibly passing the 2015 budget. We've had a couple of public hearings. We've had a council workshop. And moving forward on this, I listened to the comments from the public hearing last week, and there were a couple comments that were made that I found a little disheartening. One, there was a comment that was made that was presented as fact when it was an untrue statement regarding the mayor's message and how our police officers are getting a 2% increase for the accreditation. That is a false statement. That is not true. There is no extra compensation for the accreditation. This is something that was asked of the police department. They followed through on that to make our police department as effective and incredible police department. And it's something that they've been wanting to do for 3 years, I believe, and we finally were able to accomplish that. So another comment that was made that kind of bothered me, especially, I guess, as a female mayor, about the perception of gender inequality pay here in the city. I think we need to be very clear that a major portion, about 90% of our employees are represented. All their salaries are collective bargaining agreements. So we go through this process every 3 years, contract time, and that's how the salaries are set. All the other staff that is brought on board, these are negotiated salaries when they are brought on board, and there are generally milestones or goals that need to be met before there's an increase in their salary. And that's something that I'm very mindful of, and I guess, you know, being a female mayor, I think I'm especially sensitive to gender pay equality, and so I just kind of found that a little disheartening to hear a comment being made about that. It's something I take very seriously, and I believe everybody is paid fairly in our city, and they are also, we base our pay as well on comparables to other cities. It has nothing to do with gender. So with that, I just wanted to kind of clear a couple of things that I heard. These were statements that were made that were presented as fact, and they're not fact. So I just wanted to clear that up. So with that, that's all I have tonight. I know we have a lot of other business to take care of, so we'll move on to the city administrator.
Good evening. Okay, the 2015 budget is complete and balanced. However, as I think I've told you before, the final amount of the beginning balance used actually went down a little bit. It's $243,963, which is most significantly related to the matching grant funds for the Stewart Road project. There were a few additional changes that I made this week. One numeric, the others were clerical. The numeric change was due to the debt service payment in the stormwater fund for approximately $45,000 that was budgeted for 2015. And when I saw the bill come, I remembered that I thought this was the last year for that, and we called the bank and we were correct. So we took the $45,000 that was being paid by the stormwater fund and increased transfers to street for operations, maintenance, and to the utilities equipment replacement fund to build that back up, and still came out in the positive $10,000 for stormwater. So, and that is in the budget you're passing tonight, or going to look at tonight. I've received questions from the public about the budget process and how if we did follow the state guidelines, there were some questions to that, and we assured the people involved that we double-checked with MRSC, as we always do every step of the way, and everything is good, and I've met with the people who are interested in that. On a good note, one of the members of the public actually came up to me and shook my hands and said, thanks for a very easy and clear-to-read budget, so I was pretty pleased by that. The uniform negotiations continue. Our last meeting was last Tuesday, where the union was presented with the city's counter-proposal to their last proposal. I've lost the number on proposals and counter-proposals we've done, but we're getting close. I was meeting with the council tonight to discuss their responses to the city's proposal and what our response should be. I'm still working with our personnel attorney and the mayor on preparing an update to the city's personnel policy. Right now we're working on changing exchange time to management days, and I think I've explained how that'll simplify a lot of processes that the managers have to do, freeing up their time for more important aspects of the job. I've spoken with the IT department at Auburn to set up a time for the technology committee to meet with them and the Avidex representative, Dave, to sample what Avidex sound system that they have sounds like and how it works. I'm hopeful to have that happen soon, but I think it won't probably be done until January. I'll keep you in touch with that. I'll keep you updated. I've spoken with our city attorney about the marijuana timeline, and right now that's in the hands of our community development manager, and he's working with our attorney to come back to council. The state audit continues. We finished the first phase. We're now into the second and last phase, which is the financial reporting aspect. The auditor won't be here until Thursday this week, and then all of next week. Then the following week, I'm out, and he won't be here because so is one of my lead finance techs. So probably completed the first week in January. Right now, the first part, which is accountability, went very well, so I'm pleased with that. And I have a feeling that the financial reports, which as we know in 13 they were pretty bad to start, but we changed over to bias late in the year, and I think that's going to really make the difference. We also know, I think everybody knows, we have a Pineapple Express rainstorm headed our way this week, and John Calkins has been tracking that, and he'll speak probably on that tonight. And that's all I have. Any questions? Thank you.
Okay. So, and the court has to be in your references if you want to. Right, community services.
Good evening, everybody. The first thing is the tree lighting. It was held the Friday after Thanksgiving. This year, we made $78.46. The cost of the cookie ingredients was $16.03. So we made a total of $63.43. It's a little bit less than last year, but the weather wasn't as nice, but we all had a good time. Joanne has been having a volunteer group come in. They're from the Sumner Public School System. They're young adults 18 to 21, and they're helping her clean the gym. They're helping her decorate, that type of thing. They have their own liability insurance. They volunteer 1 to 2 days a week. They've been giving her much needed help with her cleaning. This group of young adults also volunteers at the Care Home. So she's very happy about that. Joanne and I are also getting ready for Christmas. We have many activities that are going on. She's going to be having a youth party, of course. The Senior Center is having their Christmas lunch provided by P.C.S. on Friday the 19th at noon. We're having turkey, pretty much what we had for Thanksgiving, we're having for Christmas. And then the day after Christmas, the Senior Center, they do not have Catholic Community Services come in and do lunch. That's their day off. So we're having a pizza party. And that's all I have.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Public Works.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just a couple items to report on tonight. The first item is regarding the Stewart Road, the next phase of the project from Valentine to the bridge, and then the bridge project that Sumner is looking at. Recently, you're probably aware that we applied for a TID grant earlier in the year for the next segment. Unfortunately, we learned late last week that we weren't successful with the application. So part of the process today is myself, the city engineer, met with the city engineer and of Sumner, and then a representative of Tarragon who is part of the Stewart Road Advisory Project. And we went over the grant application and discussed it in some detail, why we weren't successful and some of the lessons we could learn going forward to apply for the next round of funding opportunities. And the big takeaway from that conversation that we learned is TID is looking for an integrated approach and project between the two jurisdictions, and that wasn't the case with this particular application. So we'll be investigating that further. I'll be coming back to you later with different strategies to consider how to partner with Sumner, how to make a stronger grant application. So maybe next round we could be a little more successful. The other thing is, and I don't want to steal your thunder, Chief, about the weather, but certainly Public Works is aware of what's coming this week, so we're elevating our readiness posture and getting the sandbags and some sand ready, and should something happen over the next few days, we'll be ready to support whatever transpires. And that's Public Works report.
Questions? All right, thank you, Ms. Okay, community development.
Mayor and council members, just a few items to report on. One is which Richard has mentioned. It deals with the marijuana ordinances. I'm talking with the city attorney, with Carol, regarding those ordinances and seeing where we go with those. Definitely, there's 4 different ones that are out there that you're aware of. With one that would prohibit medical and recreational sales of marijuana, one that would allow recreational sales of marijuana and processing and producing as conditional use. There's a third one that deals with business licenses, and let's see, the last one, which would just prohibit medical marijuana. So we're going through it, and one thing we realized late last week is there's one of the ordinances that does have to go through the CEPA review process, and it hasn't gone through the process. So we'll be putting out a CEPA determination this week, and it'll be the first one to be done through our new CEPA review process if the new ordinance is adopted by council tonight. So we're going to see it working in action. But I don't foresee the marijuana regulations coming back to the council until next month, after the appeal period expires on the one set of regulations that would allow the recreational sales and so forth of marijuana as a conditional use, because we do have to get through the CEPA process first before the legislative action can be made on it. Secondly, we'll be meeting, Richard and myself will be meeting with Lane Morgan on the Morgan property out in West Hill tomorrow to have some more discussions about potential purchasing of the property. There's some details that have to still be worked out on it and what the city would accept as part of that property, so we'll be discussing that tomorrow with them. And then out of that meeting, we'll be having a few more talks with our city attorney, and she'll be talking with our attorney to see if we can work out a deal on that piece of property. Last item I have is I just wanted to publicly commend Lance and his crew, being a citizen of Pacific, for our nicely lighted Christmas tree. It's really great to see it. It's nice to drive down the street and see it.
Questions from council? Thank you. Okay, public safety.